Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and today, as promised, we're going to make the lantern that looks similar to the Tim Holtz lantern. Now, this is my prototype right here. Just ignore all the colors and everything on it. Yours will be much prettier. That's just how I got my measurements and everything. So to start off with, I'm going to make mine out of black cardstock. Now we carry this cardstock in packs of 25. If you want to get any, I'll leave the link below. You can make this out of regular scrapbook paper if you want to. It just won't be as strong or hold up as well. We're going to use in this one chipboard. Now this is a medium weight chipboard, and I just cut it with my rotary trimmer. But if you want to make one using just scrapbook paper, just message me and let me know, and I'll try to put the measurements and everything together for that. Alright, you're going to need 4 pieces that are cut at 4 inches by 5 inches. And you need to be pretty exact on your measurements on this. Then on one of your pieces, you need to decide how big you want your opening. And I know you can't see that. There we go. How big you want this opening in the front for your lantern to show through. Now, I decided that I would just come over from the sides a 1/2 inch, and then over from this side a 1/2 inch, and then down from the top 3/4 and up from the bottom 3/4. And I just used my ruler and drew a line. So I've got my box there. Now I can cut this with my rotary trimmer, but sometimes when I use my rotary trimmer to cut something like this, I tend to go a little bit off. So I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and my ruler, the middle edge. I'm just going to slice it down. Just make sure you've got a nice new blade in your X-Acto knife. I love this Prima one. It cuts so well, and and it's easy to hold. It cuts well if you cut well. So there we go. And some of the edges look a little bit rough, but that's not a problem because we're going to cover that up when we decorate. Or you can take a little sanding block and just sand them off if you want to. But there is our opening. Now this is what we're going to join our little lantern together with at the seams. These are just 1-inch strips of black paper, and I have scored them down the center at 1/2 inch, and then I have just put score tape on either side of that score line. And that is going to join these together right at that seam. So you can, this is all scrap cardstock. I just keep my scrap pieces, cut them down to 1 inch, and then save them for when it's time to make these little strips like this. So what you want to do is take the score tape off of one side. Now make sure that you have put the score tape just as close to that edge as you can. Just as close to that score line as you possibly can. And then when you put this down, you're going to put it down right on the edge, just like that. So see, I've got that score line right on the edge of that. Just going to make sure that didn't show through, and it shouldn't. Okay, and then you're going to butt these up just as close together as they will go. Press them just as close in as they'll go. Take the backing off of your other side, and while you've got that held really tight and straight up and down, then you're going to press that side over. And see, that has joined our corners. Now, I'll tell you this right now. You can go, this is going to be the outside. You can go ahead and put your strips on here if you want to. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I kind of like that rustic look. But when we get to that, we'll check it out and see what we want to do. Alright, you're going to need another one. Now I have these cut down to 5 inches. And then all I did is I just took my scissors and just angled the corners. So that's the way that is right there. Score tape on both sides of the score line. Okay. Put your next one down just as close to that edge as you can. The closer you get it, the less likely you are to have openings between your panels. Okay. Now take your next one, and we're putting these together with the 5-inch side up and down. Put them just as tight together as you can get them. Make sure that the lines, the edges meet, and then press it down. So there's your next one. And then we're going to do one more. Let's see, I hope I'm using the right strips. Yes, my 4-inch strips. So take the backing off of just one side at a time. Put it down to right at the edge. Press it down really well. And if it hangs over a little bit, just clip that off. You don't want it hanging over any, because that'll hinder when you start putting your other parts on. Then just pull that backing off. Butt those up just as close as you can get them and just as straight as you can, and then press that down while you're holding them. So there is the start of our little lantern. And now we're going to put one more because we want to join this together. So one more time. I tell you, using these strips like this, you could build a house out of chipboard if you wanted to. Now, while you got that one over like that, you want to, I open that up, lay it down like that, and then I bring this one up to where I can see. You see, I can see that it's really, really close. And I know this black is harder for you to see, but I wanted to do it out of black because of trimming it out with my paper. I wanted the black to be behind it. But you see, that's all we did. And now we've got our little box there. Alright. Now for the bottom, all you need is a piece of chipboard that is 4 inches by 4 inches. So right there, we're going to put that bottom in. And now I've cut some little strips. Let's see. No, these are the little strips. I've cut some little 4-inch strips for this. So we're going to go ahead and put those around the bottom. Okay. So see, we have all of our things on here. So now we're going to set this in there, but I'm going to pull one of these off first. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay that down like that. I'm going to lay this down. You see what I'm doing? I'm laying this down with my tape up. I'm laying this down on its side. I'm going to start on the back. I'm going to butt these up, the one that I took the tape off of. I'm going to butt it up just as close as I can. And then press that down. So see, we have that part on there. See? We got that one on. And now it's just a matter of putting these other ones on. I go ahead and pull all of the other score tape backings off at once. You can pull them off one at a time if you want. I leave them folded over and I push it up in there. And I make sure that it's squared up. And it should fit right up inside, just like that. And then when it's up in there, then I just go inside there and I press those edges down. Press that score tape down. See what I did up in there? There we go. The bottom is on and it is sealed. Alright, so there is our bottom and our sides, and now all we need is the top. Now for the top, for these right here, these 4 pieces right here, what you need is 4 pieces that are 2 inches by 4 inches. And you're going to take your ruler and you're going to measure in from each end 1 inch, and you're going to put a little mark. So from each end, I measured in 1 inch and put a mark. Now from that mark down to this corner, down here, you want to draw a little line. Now make sure that you don't take that corner off, just right to the corner. See what I'm talking about? Don't take the corner off back here. If you do, it's not going to fit right. So just down to the corner, because when you cut, that's going to be just about right. And then you can do your other side. And then you're going to do all 4 of them the same identical way. Now I take my rotary trimmer and I put these in there and I cut them that way. Makes it a little bit easier. You could do it with your X-Acto knife if you want to. Just remember to cut on the outside of that line so that you still have that point there. Don't cut too much off of it. Alright, we have those cut, and they look pretty good. Now these are going to sit up here just like this. I know that's hard for you to see, I apologize, but they're going to sit up there just like that. So what you want to do is put your strips, your joining strips, on this end. And I don't think I have cut these for mine, but as you can see, I always have more. I just make long strips and then I just cut them to the size that I need. So right there, we need 4 of those. It's a little bit too short. Now you really want to angle these corners since this is angled up. So what you do is this is the folded edge right here. This is our open edge. Just hold it that way and then just go from there to there. Just like that. Flip it over and do the other side the same way. Just don't cut your point off. Don't make it shorter. Just cut down to the point. Alright, we can put these on now. So see, you put it, the folded side, right up at the end of that, on the long side. Just go ahead and put all 4 of them on there. Okay, we're ready to hook these on there. So take the backing off of the other side of your little strip. Sit this down directly on top of that, letting it lean over kind of at an angle. And as soon as I get this hooked up, I'll show you. See there? Okay. You're going to do all 4 of them the same way. Your strip goes on the inside. Match up your corners. Press it down just as tight as you can. And then push it together. See, this is our strip with our tape on it. It's going on the inside. I'm matching my corners. And I'm pressing it down just as tight as I can and as straight as I can. And then press that glue down. So we've got one more. Alright, there is our top, and now we just need to put strips on this right here. Now these strips I will be putting on the outside, simply because it's a little bit too difficult to try to put them in here and then get everything matched up. You can, it's just a little bit harder, and I'm going to cover this with paper anyway, so it's not going to matter. So I'm going to put these on the outside. I'm just going to make sure that everything looks like it's matching up. Okay, the strips for this needs to be cut at 2 1/4. And the way you figure that out is you just hold a piece up there and measure it, or you just measure from one point to the other, and you'll know how long they need to be. And I just cut one, and then I lay the other ones on top and cut them that way. So you just need 4 of them. And then of course you do want to angle them a little bit. Okay. Now to put these down, they're going to go, the tape is going to go on the inside, and it's going to sit like that. See? So we need to pull, you can pull the backing off at both at once or one side. I'm going to do them both at once and try to hold it together and see if I can get it on there. I'm just going to hold my little strip like this, stand it up there. I'm going to match that top corner. Just like that. Alright, there we go. We have that top put together. The sides are together. So this is all finished, and now it's just time to decorate it. And I did go ahead and on the inside, our gold glitter paper, I went ahead and put some of that on the inside so that it'll help make the little light sparkle and shine. I should have done this before I put it together, but it was an afterthought, which it wasn't hard. I just folded it and stuck it in there and glued it down. So if you do put liners on the inside of yours, just cut them a little bit shy of the 4x5 and put them in there. And then the bottom a little bit shy of the 4x4, just to line it that way. And I am using the, let's see, I'm using the Winter Wonderland by Graphic 45, the 8x8 pad is what I have. And I have cut this first sheet, is what I wanted to use, and I wanted this to be on the sides and this to be on there. So I've kind of cut these out hoping that it works. Now the front, of course, it's just going to be partial because I went ahead and cut my hole out just like I did here. I measured in a half an inch from each side, 3/4 from the top and the bottom, and then cut it. So that is going to go on the front. And I'm going to use some art glitter glue to put this on here. I'm going to hold it up like this so that I can put it on there straight, and then I'll let you see it. Now, don't worry about any of this down in here. If you think that might show or whatever, we're going to put a little bit of decoration down there around this opening, so don't worry about that right now. Now, this is going to be the back. I'm going to put that on the back. And I cut these. Let me see what I cut these. I think I cut them. These are cut at 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. 4 3/4. 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. This is what I cut these, because I wanted a little bit of that black to show. If you don't want your chipboard to show, then cut it the right size. Just cut it 4 by 5. But I wanted a little bit of this black part to show. I kind of like that. So there we go with that. And then on the sides, I want that. So it says Winter Wonderland on each side. And I'm just going to try to get it as straight as possible. There we go. And then on this side, I've got another one cut that says Winter Wonderland. We're going to put that one there. Oops. I'm going wild with my glue today, I'm telling you. Alright, straighten that up. Press that down. So there is all of that covered. And now we just need to cover this top right here. So I cut these at a little less than 2, so just a little shy of 2, maybe 1 7/8. And then this way I cut them at 4. But I may cut them down just a tad. Okay. So then across this way I cut them at 3 7/8. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the black chipboard. I'm going to come in 1 inch from each side. And I think I'm going to mark this on the back and then see what it's going to look like. Because this is trial and error. I have not done this part, so this is what we do. Let's see if that's going to work. I think so. Alright, so we will cut these, and let me see if I can see to cut them. Alright, we're going to cut it right there. And then let's see. Right there. And let's see if that fits. If it fits, do you know what we'll do? We'll cut the others the same. Okay, it's a little bit tall, so I'm going to trim off a little bit of the top. Just going to trim about 1/8 of an inch, maybe. There we go, perfect. Alright, now I will tell you exactly what size this is. This is exactly 1 7/8 tall, and it is at the longest point 3 7/8 long, and then I came in 1 inch from either side and trimmed that off. So, and then that makes it fit perfectly with just a little bit of that black showing. So let's go ahead and put this on. Now you could ink around these if you wanted to. I had thought about doing that, but I think I'm just going to leave it as is for now. I might do another one and ink around it. Look at that, how cute. I love it. Love that bird there. There we go. There is our lantern. And now we're going to punch a little hole in the top and put a wire through it. And that's what's going to hold it up. Now I'm not using my hole punch to put a hole through here because I have just this small wire that's got to go through it and I don't want a big hole. So I used my piercer. Now when you do this, put something else on the inside to catch it and so that it won't go into your fingers. I'm living dangerously and I'm just going to punch it in there, but you put something else in there so that you won't get hurt. And I just twist it and put a little bit of pressure on it at a time, not much. That way it kind of eats its way through and it goes through pretty easy. Alright, let's see. That's going to work. Okay, so there is our wire on there. I know you can't see that very well. So now let's get a lantern and put in there, or let's get a little light and put in there. And I just got these, a whole pack of these at the dollar store, I think $1. And you just pull that off, turn it on, and then set it in there. And I know you're not going to be able to see this. And you can glue it down in the spot that you want it so that it'll stay. Right now I'm just trying to hold it where you can see it. But at night that's going to glow with that little gold in there. Alright, so here is our little lantern thus far. Now I haven't done a lot of decorating. I have cut some die cut branches with this, let's see, this is a Sizzix Thinlits die that I have that has a lot of branches on there. I'm going to put those around the front part of it, not all of it, probably some right here and some down here. But this video is already really long, so I'm going to do all the decorating tomorrow. So if you will come back tomorrow, you will see the second part of this with all of my decorating, and I'm going to do some Wink of Stella on here, some different things. So come back tomorrow and see part 2 where I do all of the decorating. We will talk to you guys later. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Bye-bye.